Okay, building capacity of teacher aides, this is how we did it. So my belief is that with all staff that join us, they bring with them a lot of different experiences, a lot of different knowledge, and a lot of different strengths. So in our team, we have, when I first started here, we had one male, and yet we had about 80% of students who were male. So we set about making sure that we had more diversity amongst our staff in our recruitment. So we have a real mix now. We have male, female, we have old, that's Barry and I, old, young, experienced, inexperienced, a diverse range of backgrounds, and that's what is our strength. As a team, we put a high priority on building the capacity of all of the staff to maximise their and then ultimately the team's capacity. So they come with all of these wonderful strengths and experiences, and then we capitalise on that and build on it to build it even more. We do that through professional learning. We do that through building confidence, knowledge and skills. We build that through sharing resources. And we build that through a lot of social and emotional well-being of our staff as well as our students. And of course, we always celebrate success. So what we did, we decided that there was a need to provide our SLSOs with an opportunity to build their capacity with student well-being. It became a real priority for us. So the objective was for SLSOs to develop advanced communication and relationship skills. They already had good ones. We wanted to make them exceptional. How we were going to do that was through a set of specific and deliberate activities, which included observations, journaling, data analysis, research, practicing strategies to arm the SLSOs to be exceptional communicators and to be advocates for the students. So together we built the Student Wellbeing Project, which was a professional learning program for SLSOs. And at the end of the presentation, I have left a link. So if you wanted to get access to that, I'm really happy to share. So the issue for us was, when were we going to do it? Because I don't know what happens in your schools, but in our schools, our SLSOs are flat out. They are constantly doing something and they're always constantly really, really busy. So they're paid by the hour, so it's really, really hard to find the time. So what we did is we consulted with our principal. That's her on the left of that photo celebrating with her bunny ears. We consulted with her and we used professional learning time that was allocated for SLSOs, as well as other meeting times when teachers were doing topics such as teacher accreditation, curriculum writing, and those kinds of things that may not be as relevant for SLSOs as they are for teachers. And the program was voluntary. It wasn't mandatory. It was for those people who wanted to do it. So that was important. So the resources that we used was a number of different resources. We used the New South Wales School Excellence Framework. We used the Wellbeing Framework for schools. We use the New South Wales DET policy of every student is known, valued and cared for in our schools. And we use the Australian Teacher Aide website, which you'll find out was absolutely instrumental in what we were doing. So the project included self-reflection of their current practice. It also included reading and summarising of some chosen articles that we found and provided. It had opportunities for the team to sit down together to discuss some specific skills and concerns and issues. It also provided opportunities to do some observation around their communication of identified students. There was a development of an individual action plan for improvement, completion of activities, and we had regular and timetabled one-on-one meetings with either myself or my 2IC, Christian, to support their progress and to see how they were going and just to discuss and maybe guide. So the resources highlighted that relationships were at the heart of wellbeing. So all of the resources focused on strengths of individuals, partnerships and relationships. The project allowed us to focus on these things, analyse current practice, so what they were doing now and what they might be able to change to improve it. It checked the understanding, their understanding of the requirements of what works, what doesn't work for lots of the strategies. It gave lots of opportunities to discuss with their colleagues what was working, what other strategies or resources that they could use. And it also took specific and documented action for change. So it allowed them opportunities to actually do something about the things that they found. I just have to say, I love that photograph. We've got Teacher's Aide here, Sue, who she comes to work every day absolutely dressed gorgeously, but she will roll her sleeves up at the drop of a hat. Yeah, so the opportunity to be explicit about how the team worked was really, really powerful. I just wanted to share this. This is the Brotherhood of St. Lawrence. It's a 4-power model that I discovered many years ago when I was working for the Disadvantaged Schools project. And it's actually developed by the Brotherhood of St. Lawrence to help people living in poverty. But I found it really powerful for teams. So we found that success comes from all staff having power over 4 things. So having power over resources. So that means having power of knowing where the resources were, how to use the resources, what to use the resources for, how to evaluate the resources, how to share those resources. If staff have power over those things, there's more likelihood of success. It's also power over decision making. So knowing what you can make a decision on, and if you can't make that decision or don't have the power to make that decision, then knowing where to go to or who to go to have that decision made by someone, that's important too. Also the power over relationships. So having relationships with all the people at the school, the parents, the students, if you have the power over the relationships, you have more likelihood of being success for those kids. And finally, having power over information, knowing where to get the information, what kind of information to look for and what to do with that information is really, really powerful. So we found that if staff have power over those 4 things, then we believe that we have more opportunities for our students to be successful because we're maximising those things for them. So the ATA resources were vital in the development of the project, and particularly that we used it for looking at the SLSO and the student relationship. That was really, really important. So we used the balance model, the ATA's balance model, particularly the language of expectation, the language of acknowledgement and the language of correction. They were really vital in the student wellbeing project. And the other thing we used was the mistaken goals of behaviour, which were really, really important for SLSOs to get a handle on. The final part of the project was devoted to the learning and contribution of all of the staff in the components of a positive workplace. We are really hot on making sure that we're very positive, supportive and collegial. It was really, really important that SLSOs felt valued and respected, knowing where and how they contribute to each and every student that they work with and having the psychological safety to act on it. So we believed that if we had empowered staff, we would have empowered students, and that is really super important.